Right. Shalom. Good afternoon. Brother Randy here. Wanted to do an update on tools. Now, tools, if you're going to be building, if you're going to be working on a piece of land, homestead, community, compound, whatever it is that you want to call it, you're going to have to invest in the right set of tools in order to accomplish the mission. Now, basically, as everybody know, I joined a little crew, and when they call me down, I go to work. And in addition to learning a lot about tools, a lot about building, you learn exactly what you're going to need in your tool belt. And very critical that if you're going to be on site, that you have the appropriate amount of tools and the appropriate bits in order to accomplish the mission. So, I've been working with these guys, learning under some really, really experienced men, and they've been teaching me a lot. And one of the things that I notice is that they always have in their tool belt the appropriate bits, sizes, and attachments necessary in order to either screw or drill or put a hole in, a piece of wood, what have you. So I'm gonna walk through some of the bits that you're gonna need when working with metal as well as wood. Now, right here, this is a perfect example right here. We use a lot of 1/4 inch, 5/16, 3/8, and 7/16 bits, hex bits. And that's primarily for metal roofing, but you can also get that, for any number of things. With metal roofing, these are the size of the screws that is going to be on the metal roofing, so you're going to have or need an ample supply of that. Another tool that is very good, you see these right here? These are hex bits, but they're also for screwdrivers. So you're screwing in piece of woods, and sometimes when you're screwing in a piece of wood, sometimes people will go past the surface of the wood, and so in order to get a screw out, you're gonna have to go into that wood, and pieces like this will do a good job. Now you can buy an entire set, but me here, I'm going ahead and I'm buying the individual pieces. Because I don't need all of them, the whole set, so I'll buy the individual pieces. This one is a good piece as well, because you may have a socket, you may need a socket adapter, and you can attach it directly to your impact drill. So one of the things that I have is I have two impact drills, rigid impact drills, as well as two regular drills, and I have four batteries as well as the battery charger. So when I'm on site, they clearly see that I have my own tools. I have my own circular saw. I have my own sawzall, and I have all my tools, so they see that I'm serious about learning, and that helps out as well, and that's bringing value. So see, instead of buying the entire set, you can go ahead and buy the extended one. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick one of these up as well, because we use that bit a lot. So anything with an extended bit that can attach, and the primary drill that we're using is definitely an impact drill. So definitely anything with an extender on it, because sometimes again people will drive the bit or the screw too deep into the wood, and sometimes you may have to take it out. And something with a short bit like one of these is not going to do it. It's just going to mess up and go in. Another one that you can use, I use these all the time, and sometimes the bits are going to wear and tear, so you're going to have to replace them. But those are some good different bits that you're going to need, and why you're going to need those bits. So invest in some good tools, and you'll definitely work out well in the long end. Let me see here as well. These right here, you definitely want to invest in a set of those. Those is for drilling through wood. But in addition to that, if you have a sawzall, I have a Makita sawzall, and we go through a lot of these bits. And what you're going to want to do is invest in a whole trough load. So again, there's all different kinds. If you're cutting through metal, as well as wood. There's different drill bits or different sawzall bits that's going to do that. That's going to cut through nails, as well as metal. Okay, because all of the stuff that is being taken out of the site needs to as well be demoed and put into the dump truck. So not only are you building, but sometimes you're tearing down in addition to scrap metal. You're going to need stuff like this. So you're going to want to invest in the appropriate, tools, definitely, in order to get job done. And it's going to be more efficient in the long run as well. Circular saws. Now, I have a standard skill saw, but you want to definitely buy some extra circular saws to keep in your truck, in your tool truck or your work truck, so that, hey, as your circular saw continues to degrade because you're cutting wood all day, you're doing angle cuts, you're doing all types of cuts, you're going to want to make sure that you have some additional circular saws on hand in order to get the job done. Now, some people, what I'm noticing on these crews is that sometimes the crew head or the boss or the general contractor, he will have tools available. But if you're working with 5 and 6 people, he may not have, 5 bits of 3/8 or 5/16 or any one of these drill heads or drill bits. So it's good to work with your own tools, and it shows as well that you're serious. But in addition to that, this stuff costs money. And this is why I invest in the individual ones as opposed to buying an entire kit, because I may not only need those 4 there, and I may not need all of these little attachments, or I may want to invest in something like that. See, that's a good bit to have right there, because that's going to get past that wood, and when you need to back out a screw, you'll be able to get in there, like I was stating earlier. And another thing that I notice being on these sites is that never go into another man's tool belt. Never go into another man's tool belt, a tool truck, unless you have strict permission. People get chewed out all of the time, and you learn real quick, fast, in a hurry why they do that, because it's their tools, and it costs a lot of money to invest in sawzalls, circular saws, drills, impact drills, things of that nature. And they take this stuff very seriously because this is their profession. And so, invest in yourself, invest in the appropriate amount of tools, so that, it's shown that you are serious and that you have this stuff as well, so that, when you go back and build on your site, you have the tools necessary in order to get the job done. So spend some time, invest in the tools necessary to get the job done, and you will be very, very, very well off in the long run, as well as, just the ability to learn so much. I mean, I could just go on and on, but you get the message. All right, take it easy. Shalom.